A deer is calmly eating beside a road. Then, a human opens a car door. The deer freezes, looks directly at the human, and launches itself into the bushes as if the human has just produced legal documents. This seems unfair. The human has no claws, no fangs, barely any useful body hair, and may be holding a granola bar. So, why are so many wild animals scared of humans? The short answer is that animals are not judging us by our bodies alone. They are judging the enormous invisible threat attached to us. The human standing in front of them is only the tiny visible tip of a very long spear. Of course, not every animal fears every person. City pigeons will walk under your shoes for half a sandwich. Some animals are curious, territorial, hungry, habituated to people, or quite prepared to rearrange a tourist. But across many wild mammals and birds, humans trigger the same basic calculations as predators, often extremely powerful ones. The calculation is simple. What might this creature do, and how expensive would it be to find out? Running has a cost. It wastes energy. It interrupts feeding, resting, mating, and the important business of staring at a leaf. So animals cannot flee from everything. But waiting also has a cost. If the suspicious creature is dangerous, the price of one mistake may be death. Natural selection strongly favors animals whose threat detector is slightly jumpy rather than permanently optimistic. An antelope that runs from 10 harmless noises loses some grass. An antelope that ignores one real lion becomes lunch. Humans activate several parts of that detector. First, we approach deliberately. Predators often move toward a specific target, while harmless animals are more likely to wander past. A person walking directly at a bird is therefore much more alarming than a person following a predictable path. This is why wildlife may tolerate hikers on a trail, then panic when someone steps off it. The human has stopped behaving like background scenery and started behaving like a creature with an appointment. Eye direction matters too. Many animals react more strongly when a human looks directly at them. Wild birds and free-ranging macaques, for example, use human gaze and head direction as clues about attention. From the animal's point of view, being noticed changes the situation. A human looking elsewhere is a strange upright object. A human staring at you is a strange upright object that has opened a file. Our posture may also make us easy to detect. We stand tall, expose a clear silhouette, and keep our head high. That does not automatically make us frightening, but it makes our direction and attention obvious. Then we add footsteps, voices, clothing, vehicles, lights, and smells. We arrive as a complicated bundle of warnings. If you enjoy bad drawings carrying surprisingly functional explanations, subscribe to Badly Drawn Answers. But body language only explains why an individual human might look suspicious. It does not explain why animals sometimes fear us more than creatures that could physically dismantle us. For that, we need the rest of the spear. Humans rarely hunt using only the equipment visibly attached to the human. A lion brings its teeth. An eagle brings its talons. A human may bring a sharp stone, a bow, a trap, a gun, a dog, a vehicle, several friends, and a packed lunch. Our real weapon is the ability to add external parts to ourselves. A weak arm becomes dangerous when it throws a stone. A short reach becomes dangerous when it holds a spear. Poor speed matters less when hunters can coordinate, track, block escape routes, or return later with machinery. Fire also changes the rules. It gives humans light, protection, warmth, and a way to alter landscapes. To another animal, fire is usually a disaster to escape. Humans pick it up, carry it around, and use it to improve dinner. Then there is cooperation. One human might be manageable, but humans share information, divide tasks, and recruit other humans. If an animal injures a predator, that predator may retreat. If it injures a human, more humans may appear. This makes us unusual. The visible person may not be the whole encounter. That person can leave, describe where the animal is, and return with a group and specialized equipment. The stick figure is connected to a network. Research comparing human predation with other predators found that modern humans often kill adult animals at much higher rates. Natural predators frequently take the young, old, sick, or vulnerable because those are safer to catch. Human hunters and fishers can deliberately target large, healthy adults, including other predators. So the frightened animal is not making an embarrassing mistake. It is responding to a species with an impressive record. One experiment made this especially clear in South Africa's Greater Kruger region. Researchers placed automated speakers and cameras near waterholes. When animals arrived, the speakers played lions, hunting sounds, harmless birds, or ordinary humans speaking conversationally. Not screaming, not making threats, just talking. Across more than 4,000 trials involving 19 mammal species, the animals were twice as likely to run from human voices as from lions, and they left the waterholes faster. Almost every species tested showed a stronger fear response to humans in at least one measure. This included animals such as giraffes, zebras, leopards, hyenas, rhinos, and elephants. Imagine being an elephant, hearing someone quietly discuss the weather, and deciding the entire waterhole is no longer worth it. Similar playback experiments have found that pumas flee human voices and reduce the time they spend feeding at kills. The fear is powerful enough to change behavior even when no human is physically present. This brings us to another part of the answer. Animals do not need to be personally attacked by humans to fear them. Some threat responses are built from evolved sensitivities. Rapid approach, direct attention, sudden noise, and predator-like movement can produce caution without a detailed biography of the threat. But animals also learn. A bad encounter can connect a human's sound, smell, shape, or location with danger. Watching another animal panic can teach the same lesson more cheaply. Alarm calls spread information through a group. Young animals may copy their parents. American crows provide a remarkable example. In experiments, researchers wore a particular mask while capturing and banding crows. The birds later scolded people wearing that dangerous mask. Other crows learned by watching, and young crows learned from their parents. The warning spread through the local population, even among birds that had never been captured. This is not a mysterious ancestral memory of one rude scientist. It is social learning. One crow has a terrible afternoon, and soon the neighborhood has a description. Over much longer periods, evolution can also favor populations that keep their distance from humans. Animals that were too bold around hunters were less likely to survive and reproduce. Caution could therefore be learned within a lifetime, socially transmitted between animals, and reinforced by natural selection across generations. But fear is flexible. When humans repeatedly appear without causing harm, some animals habituate. Urban birds, squirrels, raccoons, and other adaptable species may learn that people on sidewalks are mostly harmless, food-dropping furniture. The details matter. A deer may ignore cars but flee from a walking person. A bird may tolerate someone moving past but become nervous when that person stops and stares. Animals learn patterns, not philosophical categories. Human equals danger is too crude. Human behaving normally in this particular place may be safe. Human behaving differently may not be. This flexibility is useful, but it can also create conflict. Animals that lose their fear may approach roads, buildings, food, livestock, or people. That can end badly for both sides. And animals that remain highly fearful pay a price too. Ecologists sometimes describe a landscape of fear. An animal does not use its habitat based only on where food and water are. It also maps where danger seems likely. Human voices, roads, trails, hunting pressure, and activity can reshape that invisible map. Animals may avoid good feeding areas, spend less time eating, move at night, or abandon water sources sooner. So humans can affect an ecosystem without touching an animal. Our presence changes decisions. Those decisions change where animals feed, when predators hunt, and how species encounter one another. The spear can cast a shadow even when it is not being thrown. Which brings us back to the furless person stepping out of the car. The deer does not see a soft primate with poor acceleration and several unfinished emails. It sees deliberate movement, direct attention, an unfamiliar shape, and the visible tip of a species that uses tools, coordinates in groups, remembers locations, changes landscapes, and kills from a distance. It is not frightened because humans look powerful. It is frightened because, throughout much of its experience and history, humans have made looking powerful unnecessary. Perhaps the strange question is not why animals fear us. It is why we expected a granola bar to clear our name.